Hi guys and ladies, if the ice on the lake ever gets thicker, we could ice fish out where I know the fish really are. Well, I tried a bit of it off the dock yesterday and I had a couple of hits, but they got away. Here's a quick glance at my follies. When we come back, it's wienerschnitzel. The challenge is to make it low carb.
I'm gonna make my first cast right here off the dock. He took my worm.
I'm sorry about yesterday's lack of fishing success, but as to the wienerschnitzel, we have to find a side. You see, in Austria or Germany, schnitzel is often served with potatoes, but they're loaded with carbs. Well, I hit on an idea. Let's try making a side of low-carb hash browns. We should call these phony hash browns. At the heart of our deception is riced cauliflower. You could grate your own or probably even use frozen, but I found this fresh in the grocery store and I'm going to use a pound of it. Have you ever grated an onion before? Me neither. Well, this is what the recipe calls for. Here goes our grated onion into the cauliflower. Now I'm adding 3 large eggs. This isn't in the first recipe that inspired me, but it's in others. I took this from 37 recipes, but here's a cup of sharp cheddar cheese. Here's a half teaspoon of baking powder. I'm not sure what it does. Maybe it helps everything stick together. A teaspoon of salt. Now 1.5 teaspoons of lemon pepper. Here's a tablespoon of coconut flour, and I'm hoping it helps everything stick together better. Let's add some pepper. I'm going to mix and stir and see if this holds together. It doesn't hold together very well. Since coconut flour is so absorbent, I'm going to add another tablespoon. I'm just thinking hash browns go great with eggs. Why not add another one? Look, it's almost like a dough. I'm going to put this aside, get out the skillet, and we'll get that ready. The main recipe that I'm using says to use a stick of butter. Lots of butter, even for me, and I love butter. Let's start out with a half a stick. I have no idea what's going to happen. Let's find out. I'm going to use this scooper. It's very wet. I'm going to lay it in gently. It falls apart. Let's put about 4 in there. That one's already falling apart. I added more coconut flour and it really helps. It makes it sticky and less watery. It's been almost 5 minutes. It's flipping time and I'm nervous. Frankly, I'm nervous. Let's see. Came apart, but it looks good. Let's go with another one. Not bad, not bad. Let's keep it up. All right. A little breakage, that's all. All right. And the next batch with the coconut flour should be stickier. While you weren't looking, I flipped this one and it looks just as good on the other side. Now, I'll show you. Yes, yes, yes. Success. I'm going to add more butter and get on with batch 2. This is with added coconut flour. And you see, it's more cohesive. Oh, big word. Look look at these perfect potato-like, puffy, palatable pancakes of paradise. These are so good. I just had some, and it tastes just like potatoes, but you know what? It's better. You can get a little hint of that lemon pepper and the onions. Oh, goodness, are these good. Please try this recipe. Let's keep them warm now in the oven and get on with our wienerschnitzel. Look what I found in the supermarket. Very thinly sliced veal. It's labeled veal scallopini. Certainly the Italians were the originators of wienerschnitzel. I'm going to make a production line here. Let's start with an egg wash. 2 eggs, 2 large eggs. Ooh. I've just stirred in some cream mixed with water, sort of like milk. If you have milk, use milk. In this casserole dish goes a half a cup of flour. This is not ordinary flour, you know that. This is almond flour. Now goes a half teaspoon of pepper. Now in the third dish, I've got some breadcrumbs, 2/3 of a cup. These are not ordinary breadcrumbs. These are low-carb pork rinds. You can buy them now already ground up. Now to these pork rinds, I'm going to add a half a cup of grated pecorino romano. Of course, you could use Parmesan. I just love pecorino romano. Let's mix this up well. I almost forgot. A teaspoon of paprika goes into this fake breadcrumb mixture. Here's all I've been doing. Here's a small piece of veal. I'm going to put it in our coconut flour mixture. Powder it up, shake it off, then into our egg wash mixture. Let it drain well. Now into our phony breadcrumb mixture. Last, into our holding plate. That's it. This was a mess. I had to use more dry ingredients to get the job done. Here's our coated wienerschnitzel. I'm just going to fry them up now. I'm going to do this in batches. This is amazingly similar to cooking my little fish. Look at this. 2 minutes on each side. I put a lot of olive oil in there, 4 or 5 tablespoons, and I've got the heat almost to medium high. It's been 2 minutes. Let's flip. Oh, looks good. Yeah. Look, they're all fried up. Our Wiener Schnitzel is done. Why do I want to speak like Colonel Klink? Or is it Sergeant Schultz? Wiener Schnitzel. Wiener Schnitzel. So I'll keep those warm in the oven. And meantime, I ought to tell you, the famous celebrity restaurant and food critic, Miss Lulu Cheeks, is about to arrive here for dinner tonight, and I'm overjoyed. Although you should also know that we've been seeing each other for countless decades, yet she seems to always sidestep the issue of marriage. She doesn't seem to realize the pleasures married life with me would be. It's time I emphasize the happiness of being my wife. Well, it's my immense pleasure to have here with me again the famous celebrity restaurant and food critic, Miss Lulu Cheeks. And thank you so much for joining me here at my shameful shoddy chateau. And you had a chance to gulp down my bogus hash browns and my Wiener Schnitzel. And I'm anxious to know what you thought of dinner.
It was very tasty. It was the Wiener Schnitzel. The veal couldn't have been more tender. The coating was excellent, and the potatoes were very nice.
Fake.
It was all the fake potatoes were better than the real thing any day.
They were very good.
Yes, yes.
I agree.
Yes.
Thank you so much. You know, Miss Lulu, the young couple that moved next door here seems to be so loving. Every morning when he leaves the house, he gives her a goodbye kiss. And every evening when he comes home, he brings her a dozen roses. Wouldn't you like that?
Yes, but I hardly know the guy.
Huh? Can I have a hug?